This is the story of three friends, community, and wholesomeness. RADdoesGames is a trio who livestream themselves playing video games together on Twitch.
Dude! What an improvement. Oh my god.
Was that Rob, scream my name.
You don't need to do that in Mario Kart.
I know.
Just wait till we go home.
They are approaching 2 years since they started their journey on Twitch, and a lot has happened in that time.
RADdoesGames. These are our names down there.
Oh god, I'm sorry.
That's the bit.
Oh my god! No!
In this documentary, we'll explore who the members of RAD are, their biggest moments, and hear from the wonderful community that surrounds them. Buckle up, get ready. This is the road to being rad.
I'm Rob, also known as DashofBitters. I'm the R of RADdoesGames.
I am Art. I am also known as AwsumusPrime. I am also the A in RADdoesGames.
I'm Dennis, also known as TheDfraz. I'm the D of RADdoesGames.
The first game I started with was Super Mario Brothers mixed with Duck Hunt. My mother actually got it for herself, but I always played with her. And I've been playing video games ever since.
The first game I remember playing that really stuck with me was Mega Man X on the Super Nintendo, the Super NES. That game stuck with me for the longest time, and I played that game probably no less than 30 times. Because it's quick, it's fun, it's engaging, it's for what little story there is, it's just super fun. It stuck with me forever. I became a Mega Man fan from that point on. That's been my favorite game of all time.
The first video game I ever played was Sesame Street 1, 2, 3, and I think ABC, because I had them both for the original NES. My mother was a teacher and bought them for me to learn before I went to school, but that just turned into me playing a whole bunch of Mario Brothers, Mario 3, pretty much anything I could get my hands on. My father had a game called Operation Wolf for the Nintendo Zapper Blaster. I think it was Zapper. And my sister had The Little Mermaid, and I remember playing the hell out of that game because it was actually pretty fun. And you could hit the sand to find stuff, and I just thought that was cool.
The three of us met during Borderlands 2 actually, multiplayer. I knew Dennis through a mutual friend, and then we became friends.
So I met Rob. A little off-putting at first, but you could always tell that he is a good guy. It just sometimes doesn't show right away.
One day while playing a video game with our friend Bearded and Dennis, we needed a fourth, and I invited Arthur in, and that was the start of it.
I originally met Rob through an ex of mine over 10 years ago, and we became friends, albeit begrudgingly, because all we would do at first was argue about anime on Facebook, but when that was still a thing. And then I finally met him, and then we became very, very fast friends because we found out we had a great deal in common. A few years after that, Rob introduced me to his crew of friends that he was gaming with online on the 360, and it was Borderlands 2, specifically, I remember, that I first met Dennis, and I played games with Dennis and Rob for probably about a year, 2 years almost, before I finally met Dennis in person, and I was just like, oh hey, this guy's really cool, I like my friends, these are great guys. And many, many years later of Destiny and other multiplayer games, we decided to do this crazy streaming thing.
I went to college for film, I guess more generally media production. I ended up taking some TV classes and all that sort of stuff. So I've always had the interest in creating. When I was in community college getting my associates, I had a group of 4 other friends, and we would make a short film every week over the summer. So I've had experience creating content, even if it wasn't good, for 10 years. And I ended up graduating, got an internship, got a job in TV, but it kind of went in the more overseeing direction of things, and I didn't get to create stuff anymore. So it just seemed fun to be able to actually make graphics myself, to kind of do everything myself and have total control of everything. But I also wanted to include 2 of my friends because we could talk while playing games for hours.
What got me to start considering streaming was a lot of our friends said that I was funny, particularly during a moment of, at the time, Destiny, where I would fly off the handle in a fit of rage and anger at something that I had either done wrong or had happened to me. Enough people had said that it was comical that I started thinking of it as a possibility.
The thing that probably motivated me the most to start streaming was when we would play games online all the time, whether it was Mass Effect or GTA or Destiny. We would play a lot, and we would have just a natural kind of gaming banter with our friends. And it wasn't until like more than one, it was like a handful of people all told us that, you know, you should probably stream this or make YouTube videos or something, because you guys are really funny. And so coming from a background where I wanted to perform, that's what I did well in high school and in college. I couldn't pursue it because family. But it was just an outlet for me to express that creativity and that need to perform. And it just kind of fit. I mean, we tried it out, and I really, really, really enjoyed it. And it scratched that itch for me.
When we started streaming, my main goal was just to be funny at first. It was just to kind of be the guy to crack jokes and make people laugh. Things that I had been doing for years off camera anyway. But real quickly, I realized that you needed a little bit more than just to be a joke of a person to make people laugh. A lot of times when I would be with my friends, I would just kind of make an ass of myself. And, everyone would have a good chuckle and we'd all commiserate about it. Not commiserate, we'd all talk about it later. But when you're on stream and you're doing it with strangers, that it just doesn't quite work the same. So I had to learn improv. I had to especially bounce off of the other 2. That was hard at first, but I think I got the hang of it now, kind of.
I was pretty unfamiliar with live streaming on Twitch before I actually started doing it with the guys. And for me, it was very quickly I realized that one of the greatest joys was just hanging out with friends and just having a conversation with a game as the backdrop and just talking about your everyday stuff. And then as it evolved, it became more about telling funny jokes and commenting about it, and the performance angle of it came out. And I just felt like if people are genuinely laughing at this and having a good time, if I could bring some joy or help some people just ease up after a long day by just being me, I mean, that's fantastic. That's a win-win. I love playing games and I love making people smile. It's kind of my thing.
We knew we would have fun. Part of it was that it was really going to force us to play other games aside from Destiny. I also think, more personally, it was kind of a way for me to actually make stuff again and kind of put that on display and see what I could do.
It's weird, actually. I would not say that I thought I'd be ever interviewed concerning the stream. Going into it, I kind of thought of it as like a nice little summer experiment, but as soon as we got off the ground and we started entering fall, yeah, I am not surprised at all that we've reached this point.
It's weird. There is definitely some imposter syndrome occurring when I think about how many people watch us, and it's hard to put into words. Because on one end, I'm really happy that we have the community that we built, and I love all the people that we have that frequently come and chat with us and talk to us and tell us about their day and everything else. But then we get some people who are like, "Oh my God, you guys are great, blah, blah, blah." And I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing for you, but I'm so happy that I could be doing that for you. That's super sincere, and I can't make that up. And the guys can tell you, I have the ego in the crew. But it's just really reassuring to me, and it makes me want to continue to grow as a streamer, as a performer, as a friend to many people in whatever capacity that I can be.
Even if we did it for a year and no one ever watched, we would have learned a lot. A lot about how to make things happen, how to stick to schedules, how to stay determined when things are going rough, how to stick by the commitment you made to do it 3-4 times a week, and how to interact and get closer to some of your already closest friends.
It's actually really weird and almost touching that we have so many people that keep coming back to us, that like us for who we are and not just the game that we play or the dumb little one-off jokes that we have. It feels like it's less of putting on a show for a bunch of strangers and putting on a show for friends, which is really weird seeing as I've not met any of these people personally.
Man, I love our community. They are fantastic people all around. They come from all over the world. You know, we've got friends as far west as Hawaii and friends as far east as, you know, Germany and the UK across, you know, the Atlantic. It's fantastic for me personally because I love to get the exposure of their lives and how they live their lives, because it's just a cool, I guess it's cool just to have that perspective from other people and just within the context of being entertaining and laughing and sharing good stories together. So it's kind of just a cool learning experience, as it were. But on top of that, they're all just genuinely good people and they're great friends.
I think the community aspect of everything on Twitch is the thing that you don't understand at all until you're in it. Everybody who hears about Twitch the first time thinks, why would you watch somebody else play video games? But then once you finally watch something and stick and find a place that you like to hang out, even if you don't talk yourself, you see that it's that sense of community that keeps people coming back and wanting to be a part of it. I always played World of Warcraft with a bunch of people. That's a community that I was in. We had our small Destiny community. So when you start streaming on Twitch, your focus is the stream and what you're going to be like, and not, you don't even think about the community. But it's such an integral part that being lucky enough to find the community that we already have is incredible and very unexpected. Just how close we've become with so many of those people and how they're funnier than us. And I'm excited to see how it continues to grow and move forward and what we'll continue to learn from them.
I learned that I could do something that I wanted to do versus having to put all of my old hobbies aside for the sake of an adult job to just focus on making money just to pay for rent and other utilities. This is something that I would love to do full time, and it's something that I also enjoy. Yeah, it's a lot of work, don't get me wrong. And don't tell Dennis I said that, he'll never let me hear the end of it. But work aside, it's fun. I get to hang out with my friends, I get to play video games, and I get to chill out with a lot of cool people. If I could make a living off that, that would be the dream. But if you ask what I have learned, I've learned to have more confidence in myself. If you would ask me a few years ago, would I think I'd be doing this? The answer would have been no.
Production is probably the biggest thing that I have picked up on while streaming. I mean, Dennis has such skill with all of that prior, and I am literally sitting there and absorbing as much as I can every stream. And it's a lot. There's a lot to learn, and there's a lot to mess up, but I couldn't ask for a better, I guess, teacher, guide, someone to shadow. But production value is a big thing. Learning about how to produce content is a huge factor. You can carry a lot on a personality, and we've seen it, and it works. But when you have that production side of things going, it's that extra little bit. It's that icing on the top that really, really seals everything together in a nice package. So definitely production is something that I've learned a lot of.
I think the biggest thing I learned about how streaming comes together, aside from the community aspect, is how many different things go into it. You've got the graphic side of it and overlays, you've got the camera and lighting, you've got multiple programs running, and there's just so much that you have to get working together, and then your audio breaks, and then you have to fix that. And it's just that it's so many departments working together on such a small, usually single person thing, that no one realizes how much goes into it until you're in it. And even then, if it's done right, you think it's the simplest thing in the world. You think it's just turning on a camera and everything's fine, but that's also kind of the rush of it for me, is making sure everything works together in some kind of harmony and just being ready for it to break and knowing that you could figure it out and make it work again.
Well, the first one is definitely the wedding.
Obviously, getting married on stream.
Big production. That was insane how much anxiety and relief and joy that day was.
Can we get some GGs in chat for a successful wedding? It's not a successful stream, but it's definitely a successful wedding.
Oh my God. What is going on?
Yo!
Oh.
Yeah! Way out in the corner, but yeah, we could see you.
It's believed that in the medieval and Middle Ages that the best man would be there to defend the groom should the wedding be attacked.
You guys are a part of our lives now. 3 to 4 days a week. Literally half of the month is spent every night with you guys, and it couldn't be better.
The second one is probably the RAD Awards.
What better way to end 2019, Art? You have one last shot at Joyride. In the meantime, we're going to get 2 cocktails from him. We're going to get history fact from Rob. And I want to hear from you guys. Game of the year. What and why?
Certainly punching Rob's microphone into his mouth when he was annoying me that day.
Games. These are our names down there.
Oh, God, I'm sorry. You okay?
Yes.
Hitting my first speedrun goal on the stream and not practicing by myself offline, to be able to submit a run that had the 3 of us and everybody there.
Come over here, please. You got stuck.
What an absolute guy.
Done.
Is that some hour?
58:47.
Is that some hour? Did you? Oh!
Damn.
Dude!
What an improvement. Oh my God.
Was that 4 minutes? Yeah. That's almost 4 minutes better. I told you, G3, man.
Before the first stream, we had been talking about this for weeks beforehand. Again, we had a bunch of friends that said that we would have been a great mix between jokes and seriousness and humor and rage. But up until leading to the premiere stream, we actually did about a week and a half, if not almost 2 weeks of practice streams that we would record various gameplay and then just kind of talk afterwards and see how we felt about it.
And Dennis immediately started formulating a whole plan of action and how to do it, and building what was effectively a set in his living room. And that was really exciting. And then being able to talk about, you know, this is the aesthetic we want, this is the kind of brand we want, these are the games we want to play. That's when all the little bits started coming together. And that was back when we had no idea what we were doing. Literally none. We were basing this off of experience of others and what they were telling us.
In January 2019, I made a Discord server and invited Art and Rob to it. And that was the first, I think, physical thing of the stream. Like, that was the first thing I created where I'm like, all right, Now we're doing this. What's our name? What are we going to do? Let's go. All of that went into when we finally decided we were going to start the stream, which was, it was a Saturday, April 13th, 2019. So we did that, and a lot of people showed up, which was really cool because it was just the three of us asking people to show up. We started with Devil May Cry 5, so Art played first. So funny little bit of RAD history. Art was the first one to sit up front, even though I set everything up. And then we also played Ultimate Chicken Horse and Dead Cells. I want to say there was a fourth, but I think that was only the 3 games. It definitely ended with Dead Cells, and I remember Dead Cells because we had our first random viewer come in. Like someone we didn't know from real life beforehand, and they were just like, we love Dead Cells, like this is great, and guided us through. And Art had this incredible luck run. He Magoo'd before we knew about Magoo, and he just stuck. He said, you guys are great. He's a mod today just because he was the guy that showed up on our first stream, and that was it.
Doing the premiere though was a rush. Forgetting the fact that we did it for 12 hours, I think. We were on for 12 hours, which is insane for 3 people on their first live stream. Just going from game to game to game to game to game and encountering all the new people. It was almost overwhelming. In fact, no, it was probably overwhelming. I'm surprised we actually handled it as well as we did.
When we ended the stream, the very first stream that we did, the first thing that kind of stuck out to me was the fact that there were double digits peoples watching, which was like, holy crap, like, oh my God, it's like more than 5 people actually tuned in to watch us. You know, majority of them were our personal friends and people we told that we were going to try this and go into it. But that right away, seeing that little number was just kind of exciting. And then, so that we wouldn't get discouraged by that again, we immediately then all made the deal that we never look at the numbers again. Because if we could put on as good a show as we did for 12 people, then we'll do that exact same kind of show for 1,200 people.
And then I had to play Sekiro the next day for 8 hours after we just streamed for 12 hours. And that was a lesson in how you can hate your friends.
The day after the premiere stream, boy, were we tired. And then we decided to go into another long stream. However, with the infamous Sekiro, friends die twice. And boy, was that a mistake. It's funny in hindsight, but between my backseating and our complete newness to playing a Souls game on stream, it was a beautiful train wreck. But a train wreck it was.
So definitely a lesson learned right away, but I would do it again the same exact way.
It was kind of a personal goal for me to play it because Mario Maker is what got me on Twitch in the first place. I had originally watched GDQ and the Mario stuff was really fun, so I ended up watching Grand Pooh Bear and would watch that, and that's the first thing that got me on to Twitch. I didn't have a Wii U, so I couldn't play the original one, so I was waiting for Mario Maker 2 for like years. I even looked up getting a Wii U, but everybody kept saying it's gonna come out.
Mario Maker 2 is the reason why the stream is as big as it is right now. That's not to discount the work that the 3 of us, mostly Dennis, has put into the stream, but we're talking about the game. Mario Maker made us what it was. We got into it right after Dennis came back from GDQ. We got on the train hard. We played it. It was a lot of fun at first. I got sick of it fast, but man, the people that came back to it, those are the core of RAD.
I think Mario Maker impacted a lot because it was direct community interaction. We were playing your levels. You guys created something that you wanted people to see and test, and you brought that to us. And Some people just dropped the troll level and laughed and left, but some of us bonded over those levels and shared memories of Mario Maker.
We really pulled in a lot of people who are, many of which are still here with us, which is fantastic. That game was also a lesson very quickly, for me at least, of what burnout looks like. Because we played that game for probably 4 months, I want to say, nonstop. Nonstop Mario Maker for 4 months.
I mean, like most people my age, I grew up with Mario. I played the original. I played the other ones usually on either emulators or future systems. But by the point of Mario Maker 2, I had fallen out with it. I didn't play the Wii one. I did very little Galaxy. I didn't play anything past that. So it was fun to get back into it at first, but again, the old hat wasn't the same after 6, 8 months? No, longer? It was a long time.
If I had to try to think of what I've learned from our playing of Mario Maker, it would be an appreciation for people who make levels. Because anybody can do it, but there is an art to doing it right that you don't know until you've seen 1,000 different levels. One is that I'm definitely more patient than I thought I was, since I was the last to get bothered by the quote awful difficult levels, even though I was the only one playing them.
There isn't a switch that clicks in your brain one day and says, oh my god, I can't play this game anymore. It's slow and it's methodical and it seeps into your brain, and you just realize, like, I'm getting angry at stuff for no reason, and I'm really just not, I have no patience for this anymore. That's the big thing. And again, I'm grateful for that lesson. I really am, because we know what that looks like now. We all experienced it, and it was refreshing for us to understand, to see that happen and unfold in all of us, more so in myself and Rob first, and then very quickly in Dennis after. But we saw that as it happened, and we were able to recover and analyze it and be like, okay, this is why this game is, we need to slow down on this game. We need to play something else. Anything. Literally anything else.
No game lasts forever. And especially a game that you do not like. The 100th stream represented a dream becoming a reality. It was a sobering truth that we were doing it, and that a lot of work still had to go into it. But it was also a moment of excitement because we hit 100 streams. Something that was like a summer experiment had a mind of its own. It was alive, and I mean, 100 streams is a big deal. It's a big milestone, especially for 3 goofballs having a studio in the house of one of our friends. Like, I'm sure this isn't how other people started, but man, we're doing it. Yeah, it's crazy. It's 100 streams. Hell yeah, let's go.
A commitment was what I pulled out from the 100th stream. It was the proof of a commitment, I'll say, where when we hit that number, we were in this kind of weird nebulous headspace of, it feels like we've been doing this for a week, but also almost a year by that point. That was kind of the convincing point.
I've always been the person who likes milestones. It's just any reason to make an event out of something, just go for it. So I know when we started, I had told Rob and Art that even if we just do this for ourselves, I want to make it memorable, something we can look back on. So 100 streams is just kind of a natural, that's a milestone. That's the first thing. We've done 100 of these, and it won't feel like it. I think we started April 13th. The 100th stream, I believe, was November 3rd. So it was about half a year. I remember I had gone back to work at that point, so we had, that day had to be it, because we said all 3 of us have to be there for that one. I think there was another stream we had to move or cancel, We're like, we can't cancel it because then that's our 99th. We have to move it somewhere else. We cannot move things around. That's the only time that it was like, it has to be this day.
I wasn't aware of crowd control at that point. I know Dennis had been looking into it for some time, but in terms of my own knowledge of it, I didn't really know anything about it. And yeah, we had played a couple of other interactive games, namely Dark Pictures Anthology's Man of Medan, but that's not quite the same as putting us at the behest of chat and letting them ruin us at the final gate again and again and again.
I think what held us up the most from doing something like crowd control or something fully interactive where chat could affect the game or playing with chat directly, I think the what held us up was that awkward recognition of who's going to do it and how many people are we going to get to do it. Leading up to that, for months, Rob would constantly pitch Jackbox games because he saw other streamers doing it. He saw how much fun they were having with their streamer crews and their friends. So all the time, Rob would be like, "Oh, we should play Jackbox. We got to do Jackbox." And I'm like, if there's only 2 people watching, why would we play Jackbox? And I think that was the hesitation there. We didn't want to open the door to invite what would be a crowd and get a single body in the room. Because it, not for the sake that it would make, not only would it make us feel awkward, it wouldn't be good content.
But we waited that long to do something interactive because we wanted it to be special. I did edit a video together compiling top moments from our first 100 streams, showing every single one on the way there. And that's kind of what I said with, I would have edited that anyway just for us. But the fact that people were there to watch it and everybody who would come in from Mario Maker thought it was so cool and they saw their level in it, it showed me another sense of community that I wouldn't have expected before.
That's the whole point, is it's kind of the check mark, the personal check mark to just stay on course. Keep doing this. There are people coming and they enjoy this and they tell you that they enjoy this and you're making other people happy.
That everybody kind of, it wasn't just about us 3, it was about everybody. So then for all of those lovely people to just repeatedly kill me in a game was fun.
A huge fan of these games aside, you cannot rely on, yeah, I'm gonna beat it. You can't be confident. You gotta be humbled, because if you're not, chat, it's gonna humble you real quick. The RAD Awards was a last-minute idea to have like an Emmys or a Golden Globes, but for games that we had played on stream. And I forget whose original idea it was.
I think it started when the Game Awards had aired and we were talking about it on stream. I was sitting in the office at work one day and thought, it's the end of the year. It's literally going to be the last stream of 2019. So let's just be goofy and do our own award show based off of every game that we've played on the stream in that year.
The RAD Awards were certainly something that stick out to me just because everyone got dressed up. And at the time, I refused to get a suit. So I ended up just coming as, you know, schlocky Hollywood burnout with a t-shirt and sunglasses and a loose tie. That was a lot of fun. That was a fun character to kind of step into the shoes of for the first, you know, half hour of that stream. So that was definitely a memorable one for me.
So with about a week ahead, I made a Google form and then sent it to everybody in our Discord and said, go vote, pick what games were the best. We came up with all the categories. We had best full playthrough for the games that we finished, best horror, best indie, best game overall. And we rated them based on how they were on the stream. Not the game itself, how our playthrough of it was. It was fun because pretty much that day, I redesigned our entire layout to have all the options show up right next to us. Hit a button, reveal the winner. We had little fold-out cards that had the names in it that we had each of us read. We just tried to make an award show.
Minus any, you know, poor comedy or musical acts. I'm still a little mad that Resident Evil 2 didn't win, but, you know, that was my vote.
And now we're just going to do it every year to finish the year.
The 1 year anniversary stream represented a true step forward. Similar to the 100th, it was the realization of not only a dream becoming a reality, but having to put another foot forward. It's not just coasting on your laurels. It's, this is where we've come, this is where we were. Now to hit the next step along with the 1 year milestone, we have to do more. And I think a lot of people who've been following us for, you know, the year plus that we've been on now can really see the rapid evolution of things between our dynamic, between the games we play, between the gameplay itself, between the graphics, the animations, the social media. We've really, especially in my mind, post the 1 year, it took it up a notch. Not quite to 11, but at least to 2.
It was very much akin to a kind of your, you know, if you're with someone, if you're dating someone or married to someone, it feels like a lot like that. A business partnership and that whole world feels very similar because, you know, you've had your struggles, you've had your arguments, you've grown as a result personally and as a group. Rather than you know, buying a house and a car and getting a dog, it's, oh, hey, we got a Go XLR, we got another monitor, maybe another monitor, built a studio, you know, all those things that kind of grow as you grow. And so for us, that was kind of the you know, hey, where were we a year ago? Holy crap, we are not there anymore. We are somewhere else entirely. And it feels good. It's a cool metric. It's like a self-measurement, I guess. And that sounds awful. It's a realization of how far you've come.
We spent a good amount of time trying to decide what we were going to play for our 1 year stream. I think we knew we wanted it to be interactive and a fun time. So the ideas of Jackbox or crowd control again or something like that came up, but I believe it was one of our mods, Sniper Lobster, told us about a game called Choice Chamber, which was just made for the purpose of essentially playing on Twitch, where your chat can type and affect everything in the game. They're given options of what weapons to give you or what abilities to give you, and they're always going to give you Pogo instead of Fireball, but that's fine. But we wanted something interactive. We wanted people to show up and have a good time that they can't always have somewhere else. And the coolest thing about it was I discovered how I could put our faces on the character. So we literally had myself, Rob, and Art running around on the screen each time we played, and they were actually affecting us. And I think that was the first time we had more than 50 or 60 people in a stream. So I remember a few of our mods just being like, oh my god, over 60 people. And we were like, we don't want to know that.
We always had a motif going with RADdoesGames early on, where we would be multiple people on a couch playing a co-op game. Chat was always meant to be the fourth person, and still is the fourth person. So it made sense that for our 1 year anniversary, that we would harken back to that with a game where chat had a lot of control over what we did. It you know, decided the weapon, decided the level obstacles, enemies, power-ups, helpful and harmful things alike. Chat was more important than we were in that game at that moment, and I think it's good because it brought us back to that original idea of 4 guys or, you know, 4 gals, 4 people playing a co-op game together.
It was finally time to just completely redo all of it. Since we were switching over to OBS anyway, build everything from scratch. We grabbed a few assets from here and there and then just took all of those, and I just went nuts. I've made scenes for certain games that we haven't even played. I think I made a scene for like the original NES, but we haven't played an original NES game since. But getting to redesign everything again after a year of experience was it was cool because I got to, now I understand it and I know what I want to do. And we know that we like this look, but still trying to have the balance of don't do too much, but don't do too little. What's important, what's not. And it was a good time for us to go through it and rebuild everything. And it taught me even more than I had already learned.
The impact was huge, especially at first. The old computer had a hard time running everything when everything was at max, and switching to OBS relieved the computer of probably 70% of the troubles that we had. We were able to do a lot more at once. It's easier to run than Streamlabs was, although I got used to Streamlabs by the time that we stopped using it, and I'm still trying to get used to OBS. I still find myself wanting to go to where the old theater mode was in Streamlabs, and well, that's not there anymore, but by the time I switch to something else, I'm sure I'll have it down.
It's weird for me to consider that to be a relaunch because the circumstances that led to that specifically was Dennis had made a whole overlay for the sole purpose, the express purpose of one game, which was Katana Zero. And which is a very cool 80s synthwave, motif throughout the whole thing. When we saw it, Rob and I were stoked. We loved it. We loved everything about it. And the more we saw it as we streamed, it very quickly became apparent that we were like, let's take this thing that you built. We like it a lot. We all like it a lot. Dennis put a lot of hard work into this. Why isn't this just all the time? And it was just kind of a choice. There was some discussion, but it wasn't a big turn for us. He continued to build on it and add more and add more and add more. And then when it finally came to that point where we had enough to effectively put that motif and that look, that aesthetic over the whole stream, we were stoked. We were just like, this is us now. This is our thing.
I had proposed to Michelle, the DashofBitters, in June 2019, very shortly after we started streaming. We had planned originally to get married in June 2020 and went through all the work of setting that up and everything we had to do. Then 2020 happened and gatherings were kind of a problem. So we had to delay the wedding since things were not looking good for June. So we had moved it to August 3rd. Then it kind of got to that point where it's sort of like, oh, we have to move this again because we still can't do it. Originally, we said we should still just get married in June anyway, but we figured it's only 2 months. That's kind of silly, so let's just wait. When we had to delay it again, we were like, if we don't have a choice, we're just going to push this till next year. But we didn't want to wait a year to get married, so we kind of said, I think actually Michelle said, you should just stream it and we should just be done with it.
Well, you see, when two people are in a relationship for a long time and they want to move it to the next level, they decide to get married. The biggest problem is when you have a pandemic going on in your nation during that. Dennis and Michelle had to push back their wedding 2 separate times, and multiple headaches aside, it eventually came to just have it. And that, if they wanted to do something else later, they always could. But they wanted to get married. They had held it off for so long.
And it all happened really quickly from that point. It sort of snowballed into an avalanche of just, this is the next project. Here it is. Here's the date we're doing it. And just full steam ahead. And it was exciting and scary and a lot of pressure to do it well and make sure it looked good. And even then, that stream itself became mired step after step after step until we hit that live button.
Over the previous year, the community that we built and the friends we made felt closer than some of the people that were already invited. not to say anything bad about them, but that's just how well we got along with all of you guys, that by streaming it, we could have everybody who was supposed to be there still be a part of it, but also include you guys, which we never would have been able to do otherwise. As crazy as I made that weekend, because it was a Monday and leading up to it, moving the entire setup downstairs.
And we helped, but the man had to take down the entire studio, the green screen, soundproofing, and everything, and transform an entire corner of his living room into a chapel. And that's not even counting all of the extra work that his fiancée at the time, Michelle, did in terms of decorating the chapel itself. There was a humongous amount of work that went into it, and it blows my mind that a lot of that work, a lot of the physical work was done within a few days of the wedding.
Even Michelle said this seems more what we would do than some big wedding. So it all worked out for the best.
When they first brought it up that I would do the wedding, I actually thought they were making a joke and that they actually wanted Arthur to do it. But that's also because my reading comprehension is a little different from most people. So when it finally came true that I had to become their officiant, it was both a huge honor and also a humongous anxiety point, because I wanted to make sure that I could do it and do it well.
To Rob's credit, he took the time, he got officially ordained, and it was really cool to see him excel in something that he is so naturally good at, but I feel like he's a little afraid to just let loose and go with. The one thing, aside from the fact of getting married that day, that sticks out is how impressed everybody was by him. That was like the one constant thing. It was like, Rob did amazing.
Rob officiating was a weird build-up for me. I've played tabletop games with Rob for almost a decade. I knew he had the capability to perform, to stand at attention and deliver a speech or deliver a thing that he's written to pretty good effect. At the same time, the other side of that coin of it being Rob is I don't expect that he can officiate his own dinner, let alone a wedding sometimes. And it's nothing against him. That's just the personalities we have. But just, he nailed it. He nailed it so well. And the voice that he read those lines in, first of all, he went through the whole process, which is in its own right, remarkable. He went and got ordained officially. And then when he actually came up and he read the lines and he officiated the entire wedding ceremony itself, it became this sort of surreal moment for me of just like, I know this voice he's using. He's used this exact voice for a D&D campaign or for whatever, or a board game, or just us play acting online, or whatever the case was. And it was so funny for me to see him use that voice and just be like, that's a talent. That's a talent you have, dude.
Let me tell you, when I was up there, I was extremely nervous. And I would like to think that I did my best and that I kept cool and calm, but let me tell you, I was shaking in my shoes. But what an honor it was to do that.
I think getting married in general is not something I thought a whole lot about before it was going to happen. I would never think that I'd be the person to just broadcast it on the internet. But given the circumstances and how everything turned out, it was very sweet and incredible that Michelle was willing to let me do that, to trust me, to not make it about the stream and keep it about us. And it just shows that I made a good choice.
We had discussed doing a charity stream for a while at that point. We knew a couple of our friends that had done charity streams, and a couple of people that we just followed in our spare time that also done charity streams.
So we felt like the next logical step for us was, hey, we have an audience now. We have people watching us who have been incredibly generous to us and supported us. So we said, let's give something back. It's time. And so we came up with it, and we looked at charities and we looked at the methods of which to donate, and we came up with a plan and went for it.
It does kind of feel like it's part of graduating on Twitch. Like, it's just one of those things that you're supposed to do at some point. And to be able to give back to something is just, it feels really good. It's also humbling at the response that you get from the community, and that you helped them help other people through you and through what you've built.
Thankfully, it wasn't our first 24-hour stream, so we had learned a lot of helpful lessons from that. I was confident that we were going to get through it without any real problems. What I wasn't expecting was how ruthless chat was going to be during some of the games, particularly Ocarina of Time. But concerning staying awake for the 24-hour itself, it was never a doubt.
The charity that we supported, the Bail Project, that's an American, that's a U.S. thing. That's an issue here. And the amount of people who gave and the generosity that was shown that day was mind-blowing. And it was really, really, really flattering that we could kind of organize this sort of thing. And by no means we don't take credit for that. That night, that was our audience. That was our chat. That was our community. It was our mods and all of the great people who come all the time to watch us. That was your moment. And I think that's the biggest thing that charity stream showed us.
We had set our original goal at 1,000, but we had also set an incentive for 2,000, knowing that it's likely that we will pass 1,000. So we had planned for 2, but didn't tell anybody we planned for 2. That was kind of if we get there, we have it. So we didn't absolutely underestimate the kindness and generosity of the wonderful community that we have, as much as people thought we did, but it was still unexpected how much they came out to support that day.
27 minutes. That number still shocks me. I figured we were going to hit our goal number, and I figured we were going to hit it pretty easily, but hitting it in 27 minutes is not what I expected. I figured we were going to hit it by the time of finishing Zelda.
I will say, as far as the charity stream goes and the goals we set, I had a feeling. I was confident in our community's ability to hit our goal. So I thought to myself, our initial goal, no problem. I think they'll hit it. How long that takes, no idea. But I know we'll hit that first goal. 27 minutes later was far beyond and above the expectation we had set for ourselves. Even I set for myself. I knew they could do it, but that quickly honestly hit me on a personal level. And it made me choke up and get emotional, which of course on camera you stow that a little bit. But I think that was kind of the biggest revelation to us, like, oh, we do not underestimate chat.
Man, it means a lot. I'm still shocked whenever anyone gives more than just a couple of bucks here and there. $50 here is still a lot. And the fact that we broke the goal so quickly and then by so much, it's hard to describe. It's crazy. It's crazy, but in a good way. 2021 for RAD. Well, first things first, we're definitely going to be playing on the PS5 more often. Hopefully we get to put more time into some of our own little projects. There's one that I've been thinking about and hoping towards for months, but we'll see what happens comes 2021. At the very least, you'll still get the same quality show that you always get. And who knows what other secrets are in store.
We're gonna keep going. I think that's the goal, right? We're just gonna keep on doing what we're doing. We've seen growth. We know it's happening. We know every time a new name pops up in our chat, we're so excited. And the moment that they make a joke or our community welcomes them in and says hi and makes them feel welcome, that's huge. And when they come back the next day and the next day and the next day, we know that that's all it is. We know that discoverability is difficult on the platform. It's hard to be noticed when everybody's doing this now. But we know that we've got something special when that person finds us and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna come back here. And then they get a gift sub or they sub or something happens. And it's just that makes us want to keep going, 100%.
Given the current state of things outside and unsure with when I'll be returning to work outside of streaming and other elements related to that, I have no idea what 2021 holds for us, and that's probably the best part.
My username is WillT426. I'm a moderator for RAD. I've been a mod since July 28th of 2020.
My name is SCSLucis, or Lucid for short. My role is I am a subscriber. I am a VRP.
I'm BeardedAustrian, and my role is VRP.
My name is Official GS, or as people in the chat call me, Game Sheep, from my Super Mario Maker 2 tag. I am a VRP, and I am also a sub.
My username is Aerialslayer, and my role is a VRP, as well as a RAD subscriber.
On Twitch, I'm Diddy7Com, but everyone calls me Diddy for short, and I'm a VRP of the channel.
I'm FuzzyGruzzy. I am a mod on Twitch and an admin in the Discord.
My name is Ash, also known as AsheBlitzen, and I am a mod over at RADdoesGames.
Hello, my name is IndieLad, formerly known as StabStream, and I identify as a very rad person.
My name is AriakasMD, also known as Ariakas. I am currently a sub and VRP.
My name is SmokinAce007. I'm a VRP, and I am addicted to RADdoesGames.
I've been following RAD for about 1 year and 3 months. I found them through my friend Shadow Spirit. He met RAD through Mario Maker. I dropped them a follow to show support to them, and I ended up loving their stream.
I've been a subscriber now for about 19 months. Before that, I knew Rob from college. We've known each other for years now at this point. I saw that he was going to be starting streaming with 2 of his friends, and I decided to check it out, and I'm really glad that I did.
I have known RAD for about 5 years collectively. I met Dennis in high school about over 15 years ago. I met Rob in college about 12 years ago. I met Art while playing, no surprise, D&D about, it was 6 years ago.
I've probably known them for about 1.5 years. I think I'm coming on to like more than 9 months as a sub now. How did I find them was I was living in a different place with very bad internet, and this was around the time when Super Mario Maker 2 came out, and I was looking for Twitch channels to give my levels to, and I go to the Super Mario Maker 2 games page on Twitch, and I found them, and they seemed to like my stuff.
I've known RAD since April 2019 during the very first live stream. I found them because at that time I was heavily involved with a game called Dead Cells. And one day I was randomly searching to find a live stream who was playing Dead Cells, and I stumbled upon RAD, and ever since then I've been hooked.
When I was thrown into RAD stream from a raid, they were playing Super Mario Maker 2 at the time. This was back when I was pumping out car levels. Watching art endure a type of level that is universally hated by the Mario Maker 2 community, but fun to make, motivated me to keep making more of these types of levels. Eventually, hanging out and memeing with the community was enough to keep me coming back.
I started watching RAD back in February of 2020, right when COVID was starting to happen, and I found I had a little more time on my hands. I became a follower almost immediately thereafter, and really became active in the community during Drunk Souls. I have been a subscriber for about 6 months, and I found RAD because of a raid that occurred from random British dude.
So I made a Twitch account back when Twitch Plays Pokemon was happening, and then never touched it again until last year. I never understood like Twitch or Twitch culture. I didn't subscribe to anybody or really watch any big streamers. But after giving them my level, I was just immediately like hooked, I guess. It just felt like a hangout. Like I wasn't there for my level anymore. I was just hanging out with three friends. So I waited until their next stream, I think it was a Wednesday, and watched the whole thing. Gave them a couple levels. It was an immediate click. They work really well together. You can tell they're friends and that they love each other. Yeah, it's been great.
I keep coming back to the stream because there's just this feeling of belonging and camaraderie, and the whole community is just so amazing. And I'm so thankful to be part of it. When Dennis asked me to become a mod, I was so happy. I almost jumped right out of my skin in happiness, because so many amazing people, you know, Jenna, Mowski, you know, Cermak, FuzzyGruzzy, you know, everybody. You're all my friends. And to be a part of that every single day is just, it's such a comfort and such a very welcome, happy feeling in such a troubling year that we've had. You know, to lean on each other for support is just such a comfort and such a happy thing.
It feels like the bar from Cheers every time you enter their stream. You know, they always greet you with this energy that's second to none. It's always exciting. It's always fun to make it into one of their streams. I consider them to be friends. Don't know if they feel the same way or not, but I'd like to think so. They're always welcoming when you first come into the stream, and even until the end of the stream, whether you're able to catch the last 10 minutes or you're there for a whole 4-hour stream. The level of interaction that they have is second to none. That's another thing that keeps drawing me back. One of the best parts of their stream is with the unique setup they have. Of the 3 of them, typically only one of them is playing the game, so the other 2 are easily able to sit there and have witty banter and continue to interact with everyone without skipping a beat. There are some instances where something happens within the game, and since you have that real person sitting behind you, they can make that snappy comeback that always makes somebody laugh, and it just makes such a unique experience while watching their streams that you can't help but come back.
Well, those 3 have some amazing chemistry, and they're so funny. The community is so great. How could I not keep coming back to RAD?
I honestly can't pick a single favorite moment, so I'll pick a favorite stream instead. I would pick the 24-hour charity stream for the Bale Project. That was just so much fun to watch, so much fun to play games with them, and I was glad I could be there for almost the whole 24 hours. And of course, we can't bring up that stream without mentioning that they hit their $1,000 goal in less than 30 minutes. That's like...
I don't know if I have a specific single moment that I enjoy the most. However, one that's coming to mind right now has to be when Art was playing through Mega Man Zero and Team Spikes.
My single favorite moment of the stream has to be when Dennis pantomimed Rob's biggest issue, which is opening drinks on camera and then either slurping them really loud or bringing too much attention to them. He literally went in front of the camera like this with a monster, poured it into a cup, very Rob-like, and then went over to Art and said, "Hey Art, would you like something to drink as well? Here you go," and then poured that very obnoxiously too, which was very, I still chuckle and smile, as you can see right now, just thinking of that moment.
My single favorite moment of the stream has to definitely be their 100th stream, when they did crowd control for the first time, and it was Super Mario 64, where I think I kind of ruined Dennis by making him do Bowser in the Dark World over and over again, because not only did I come to mess up his final run of the night, but I brought my friends to also come in and donate to mess him up. Shout outs to them.
My single favorite moment of the stream is probably their very first live stream, actually. Art was doing a run of Dead Cells for the very first time. I had no idea what he was doing, didn't even know how to play the game. So we were all saying, he's not going to make it. He's not going to make it on the first try. There's just no way. And lo and behold, first try, beginner's luck, he makes it, clears his first run, and it was the most hype stream ever.
I think for my personal enjoyment, I really enjoyed Subnautica. It was very chill, it's very relaxing. The dynamic there is very calming, and assuming you don't get jump scared by a Leviathan. But I think the Fire Temple, Drunk Souls, and the wedding were probably some of the top events, at least from what I've watched.
The streams are a wonderful place to hang out and chat and watch Rad go through various games, usually to meme levels of entertainment, which is further enhanced by the various channel points that viewers can redeem and raids that come in. We all know what they do when a raid comes in. When I'm playing a game alone or grinding one, I'm usually lurking in the background, listening.
This stream has become like just a part of my routine and like my household life. Like my wife knows who they are. My daughter watches it with me if it's a game I'm okay with. It's been a great distraction since I started working at home over a year ago. It was a godsend, honestly, because I was just during the kids' naps and like by myself during the day. I was just bored.
It means the world to me to be part of this stream and to see the whole community 3 days a week or even 5 days a week on the Discord. To be so close to all of you and to be a friend, you know, to be a shoulder to cry on, to be an ear when you need someone to talk to be the person you send the dumb meme to. You know, it's such a good feeling to be part of this community. And then to be able to unwind every day, you know, playing games with your friends. It's amazing. It's just so amazing and such a wonderful feeling. I'm proud and I'm lucky to be part of this community, and I can't wait to see how many more people come to be part of the Radverse. It's amazing. Bathe them in neon.
Everyone within the Rad community is always willing to help out anyone else. Have a tech issue? Consult the Rad community. Having a bad day? Consult the Rad community. Just need a good gut laugh? Consult the Rad community. To be a part of it is the comfort that knowing you always have a group of friends that you can talk to or that you can reach out to when you need them most. I've also seen firsthand the generosity of this entire community. Rob, Art, and Dennis help out everybody that they can, and the same thing goes out to everybody else in the community. They're always willing to give, and I cannot thank them enough for everything that everyone has done.
Stream to me is a place, it's a welcoming community I can pop in whenever, and I know that there will always be smiling faces, laughs to be had, and friendship. The stream is a sign, it is a symbol to me that if you put your mind to something, you can make it work, because these guys are unbelievably hard workers. They put so much into the stream, and it's inspiring. The stream is just inspiring as hell.
I think Rad reaching partner is just inevitable at this point. It's gonna happen whether it be sooner or later.
Honestly, I don't see them not hitting Twitch partner with the way they're going. The three of them as a team have what it takes.
I think they will reach partner status probably with this growth rate. I'm gonna say it now. 2021, about August. I want to say August 2021 is when they will reach partner status.
I think that they will be able to reach Twitch partner status for sure. I think in the near future.
Oh, definitely. Seeing their growth just in the last year and a half is outstanding.
They will reach it by the end of next year.
We know how Twitch works. Sometimes it takes forever, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, they are one of the most unique streams you can watch on Twitch. In my limited experience, you don't see many groups streaming on Twitch. It's a nice bonus to have the three of them all like bouncing off each other.
I do think that they're gonna get partner. Absolutely. When? It can be, honestly, I have a good feeling about this year. But I think that they are up there and they're on their way.
April 20th, 2021, RADdoesGames will submit the application for Twitch partner status.
I think to get from where they are to partner, maybe another year. But it really depends on, I think, bringing fresh blood into Twitch and getting the word of mouth out that we in the community have to do a good job at doing.
As far as how long it's gonna take, who knows? It could be a month, it could be a year, but I know that Rad will be partner.
Y'all crazy, but I love every single one of you. It is incredible, the sensation that you guys give me personally through our interactions. On stream, off stream, social media, Discord. It's surreal. It's awesome. So I would say thank you, and I still will say thank you, but that's not quite enough. You guys, damn, you guys kick ass.
Thank you is the only thing that comes to mind. This is something that, for me, I didn't know I wanted to do it. And then we started doing it, and then I loved it, and I wanted to keep doing it and keep growing, and I just happened to be lucky enough to have two friends who wanted to do this, and one who is so incredibly talented to put this stuff together and effectively build a stage for us, and the other who's just such a good friend who I can just talk to for hours and hours and hours about the dumbest stuff. And you guys, just the fact that you guys come in and watch it and laugh and share with us and become friends with us, I mean, what can one say? I've now have a global friend group, which is the coolest thing that I think I can say about it. And the support you guys show us is immeasurable. I can't tell you enough, guys.
I think the only real thing that can be said is just thank you. But thank you for always being there, whether you're giving us bad levels in Mario or you have no interest in the game. Thank you for being there for us. Thank you for being such great, funny people. Thank you for making us three better people. And we will always do everything we can to put on the most entertaining, engaging show that we can, because you guys really do deserve that.
This isn't the end of the road for Rad. We will continue to follow along and see where the road takes them. One thing we know for sure is that they're not stopping anytime soon. Stay rad, my friends.
Never forget my name's first.
No, I mean, dude, and also the music went on for too long because I was sitting there like, any other events?
None.
Okay, thank you. For clarification. Thank you for following us.
Oh, wait, that time you punched Rob in the face.
Oh, cool. All right.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.
You go home. Who ever leave?